In the course Speech 151, I expected to gain public communication skills to better myself when talking in front of people for formal presentations. I learned a number of concepts about interpersonal communication. One such example was the concept of empathy, the ability to recreate another person's perspective and to experience the world from their point of view. I am quite an introverted person and don't sympathize much with others since I don't interact with them. But because I am an observer, an onlooker, I would apply this empathy to when I am trying to be open-minded about the feelings and opinions of people so that I can understand them, which actually ties into another concept I learned, mindful listening, the act of listening to others actively with high-level processing. This would be applied in my interpersonal connections most when I am listening to the students at my workplace. The kids have so many great ideas but don't know how to get them across clearly, which is actually quite frustrating for me. So I have to be mindful of what they say and be patient enough to actively hear them instead of passively mute them. For this course, there were 3 major in-person presentations. I believe my strongest one was my interview speech, the first one. I think it was my strongest not only because I was more prepared for it, but also because I delivered it in a way that made me seem less nervous and anxious than my other 2 speeches. For my interview speech, I used the organizational pattern of topic order, which is basically talking with arranged points according to logical types or categories. Using the topic order pattern helped in introducing me to the basics of speech giving by informing me that there is a way to deliver speeches that's best suited to my style of speaking. Growing up, I was often told I talked maturely and essay-like, so the topic pattern was really the best way for me to approach my informative speech, rather than using time order or coded dialogue. Though it was basically a manuscript speech for me, where you read word for word from a prepared text, I delivered more eye contact than the rest of my speeches and was able to pass off my impromptu visual aid for it as well. The amount of slurring, which is articulation error, was also far less done for that speech. As for the second speech, the informative speech, I used the method of explaining. This method is used to clarify ideas and concepts already known but not understood by the audience. Sadly, I believe I may have given my audience information hunger, which I believe is normally an okay thing to do so that the audience wants to learn more about a topic, but I think I may have done it in a way that left my audience confused or disinterested in what I was saying. I tried to spice up my speech with a humorous video sample about my topic, but I don't think that really helped in informing them about it. For the persuasive speech, the final speech, I used a number of techniques from the course's textbook. I used the proposition of value, which involves the worth of an idea, person, or object. My speech involved the idea of an action. I wanted my target audience to try something new. I did this in a way that was informative about the topic, but also a bit indirect. If I had appealed to my audience's pathos more, that may have been a better approach in delivering what I was trying to persuade them of doing. Overall, I think what I may have improved on throughout the course of the term was my eye contact and volume. I still have a lot of public speaking anxiety, the fear of communicating publicly to an audience, especially in a formal setting, but I think if I just continue to use what I learned, especially in situations outside of a graded environment, it will hopefully dissipate in time. Throughout the semester, my overall strength was my ability to make narrative connections with my topic, as stated by my instructor, as well as my way of transitioning between topics within my speeches. My peers consistently stated that my topics were interesting and informative to them. However, a constant theme that I needed improvement on was slurring and use of nervous fillers. I tried my best to work on these things, but I can't seem to get over my speaking anxiety. Honestly, I cannot help my amount of slurring a lot of the time since I don't have a strong articulation of words for certain words. As for the nervous fillers, I tried to fix it, but I would semi-panic instead, which would make matters worse for me. So if I had just done a better job in rehearsing and preparing myself, especially for the last two speeches I gave, I would have done a more better job in delivering my speeches like how I did for the first one I gave. As for my classmates, I believe the strongest one was Jamie's informative speech about lavender because she had strong eye contact, great volume, and spoke with confidence. Three major qualities that I believe effectively deliver a speech. For her speech, she proved to be very knowledgeable about her topic choice and had visual aids that really helped her talk about the therapeutic properties of lavender, what it's used for, and such. To conclude, my goals for the future are to use the skills I have gained and to further improve them. I am greatly unsatisfied with myself about my coursework, but I have no one to blame but myself for that. So the best way for me to improve my public speaking would be to use it in my workplace, as I have stated at the beginning of the video. Working with students and providing them with things to learn involves a lot of social interaction and speaking, qualities an introverted person such as myself hope to develop in time.